Red sign soapstone. I have trouble saying soapstone for some strange reason.
It's fine.
This is literally just a duel item. You write your name, and then people touch it, and then you get summoned into their world, and you beat them up.
Yeah.
Again, they kind of just want to talk about the fact that time is kind of distorted, and certain dark wraiths resist their descent into the dark and persevere along the honorable path. The red sign soapstone is for them. So if you would rather not invade people, but duel them for fighting, this is your item. And what they're trying to say is dark wraiths, which are people who invade other people and take humanity, are considered to have lost their way and have fallen off of an honorable path. This is the item that you use if you want to still be honorable.
Okay. As opposed to just ganking people.
Yeah, well, ganking in Dark Souls has a different meaning. Ganking in Dark Souls is when you summon people in through this, but you have like 4 people on your side, and the red phantom shows up, and you just start beating the crap out of them.
Oh, okay.
In Dark Souls, ganking is different.
All right.
Ouch. This one is Cracked Red Eye Orb. It's an incomplete Red Eye Orb. The Cracked Orb allows players to temporarily imitate the ability normally limited to the Dark Wraiths of Kath. So Kath is the leader of the Dark Wraiths. He's the other snake.
Oh, the snake's butt.
Yeah, so he's the other snake, and he is the guy in charge of the human beings that go and take humanity from other humans.
Okay, why?
Because he is kind of a dick. Even though he's the one who supposedly was telling you the truth, he is the reason that New Londo looks the way that it does.
Okay.
Because New Londo is flooded because they wanted to prevent the spread of the darkness of humanity because the Dark Wraiths showed up. So Kath at some point showed up in New Londo and went, hey, you know what you need to do? Kill other human beings and take their humanity so that you'll become stronger and you'll usher in the new Dark Lord. And the humans went, okay, and they started doing it, and everything got fucked up, and they woke up Manus, and Manus completely destroyed that part of the world.
Manus got woken up by people being strong?
Well, no, Manus got woken up because they started digging down there.
Oh, okay.
Remember, because the Abyss sits at the bottom of New Londo, but you've been in the Abyss once before when you had to go down and fight Manus as well. So when they woke him up, Ingward, the guy in red, and his 2 friends, and possibly Artorias.
Do we know?
We don't know them at all.
friends?
No, they're
Okay.
dead. They're long
right.
dead. Ingward and his friends flooded the city. And then they were supposed to sit around and wait because they wanted to make sure that the Abyss never spread. His 2 friends left, and he gave you the keys and went, go kill the kings. That's all I need. And he went down and killed him, and he went, okay, I'm done. And he walked away.
Well, he walked up here.
Yeah. Artorias went down there, and he fought the Abyss, but he lost, ultimately.
Yeah.
He succumbed to the Abyss,
I mean,
and then
he
you
lost
killed
to
him.
us. Me.
Yeah. So Kath fucked everything up for humanity because he suggested that they try and usher in the Dark Lord by killing people. Frampt, on the other hand, keeps telling you to take over for Lord Gwyn. He keeps saying you need to become the heir to fire, which means that you need to continue the Age of Fire rather than the Age of Darkness, which is what Kath tells you to do.
Okay.
So it's a duality thing, where one head of the snake is like, you need to keep the fire going, and you need to take over for the gods, and you need to become the best human being you can. And the other one's like, no, human beings are naturally dark. Having the fire going is bad for you. What you need to do is snuff the fire out. And you need to become the new Dark Lord, so humanity can rise, and humanity can have its Age of Darkness.
Both of those sound bad.
To some extent, they both are. Then you get, like, the souvenir of reprisal, which is blood-drained shrunken ear. Souvenir taken for subduing the guilty. This is, despite having things to do with sin and the guilty, this is actually the Dark Moon Covenant, which is Gwendolyn, who's a god that you haven't seen yet, but you will eventually. Gwendolyn is basically going around and killing people who invade other worlds to take humanity, because doing that is sinful. So he gives, instead of red phantoms, he turns people into blue phantoms who hunt down people with sin and kill them and take their ears.
Why do you want the ears?
I don't know, because it's a symbol of the death of the person. The knights called the Blades of the Dark Moon punish the guilt-soaked offenders of the gods, and take this as proof of their conquest. The earless corpses of the guilty will be left behind as a warning to others, inspiring both fear and respect for the gods. Such is the eternal mandate of the Dark Sun. Should be pointed out that the Dark Sun is Gwendolyn, and he runs the Dark Moon Covenant. It is a god.
Is the sun and the moon the same?
In Dark Souls, no, but they're considered the same, because his dad is the god of the sun.
So
they call him Dark Sun, even though he is clearly moon-themed, because of reasons...
This feels like a confusion I've felt before. Okay.
It's kind of confusing, yeah. It's I don't know.
Okay. In lore, do we love the moon?
We do not love the moon or the sun.
Is it too close to us?
They're represented by gods who, technically speaking, probably are assholes more than anything.
So, are all celestial bodies assholes?
Maybe.
Where's the Lord of the Mars?
I don't know. Mars doesn't exist.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, we may as well be living on like a platter or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
we could be.
It's telling that the Dark Moon Covenant, which punishes the guilty, which are human beings and are considered offenders of the gods, is ran by a god, but employs exclusively human beings to do it. That's what I was getting at.
Okay.
Dragon Eye. Find a player who's acquired a dragon scale and invade the player's world to
we
pillage
were
it.
in this one for a while.
An art of the transcendent apostles who pray to the ancient dragon. To be alive is to be vulnerable, and the fiery gods are no exception. The apostles seek another plane of existence which transcends life.
Right.
They want to become dragons because dragons are immortal, and dragons hate gods. And to be alive is to be vulnerable, and the fiery gods are no exception. So the gods are alive, and they are going to die someday. So by becoming a dragon, you can avoid the idea of death. You probably aren't going to die.
How come dragons look like natural animals then if they're supposed to be?
Because they're mostly made of stone. It's really confusing.
Animals are made out of stone?
I know.
It's just to be alive is to be like full of meat and vessels and stuff. So you'd think that like animals are the most alive symbolism you can get.
You'd think so, but
to be like a lizard.
Dragons have like 2 or 3 forms of immortality.
I mean, are they going for like a dinosaur fossil symbolism? Because that's not really a thing.
To an extent, that is kind of what they're going for with some parts of it.
It's
but not
not a symbolic thing
back
that
and forth.
It connects, but you got to think about it too hard.
That's why you get like the dragon headstone, which almost is totally a fossil if you actually look at it.
Not quite.
Same with the torso stone, which is just a dragon rearing up and it's got its wings going along the sides.
They should just made it an Archaeopteryx, a little iconic Archaeopteryx.
I think it kind of is supposed to look like it, but it's just the top half of it. The Dragon Apostles seek transcendence of life itself, attainable by transformation into an ancient dragon. This rite is only one step, but it cannot be reversed until death. And then you get the Eye of Death, which is for the covenant that Nito's in charge of, and it's the dreadful eyes of death spread disaster across neighboring worlds. Phantoms lured to the host world may end up as victims, allowing the eyes of death to multiply and leading to further proliferation of bane.
What?
I don't know. The Eye of Death Covenant is like the most confusing thing ever. I have never touched it, and every suggestion I have ever seen is don't touch it.
Yeah, okay,
because it doesn't work properly. It's broken.
It lures people to your world so you can kill them, and then they get a disease off of you, is what I'm getting from this description.
I think you use it so that if somebody is using a red eye orb and invading, they'll automatically invade your world instead, and then you kill them, and you can get more Eyes of Death for doing it, and then you can start using them and get more and more as time goes on.
And what do you get for it?
More Eyes of Death, and then you can give the eyes up to the Covenant instead of humanity, and you'll get treasure in return.
Okay, what's the treasure?
I don't actually know.
More body
because
parts?
Again, this Covenant is broken. This Covenant only works in New Game Plus.
Huh.
And even then, I have heard that it is absolutely almost impossible to get it to function properly.
Weird.
Yeah, there was something wrong with it in the first version. I think they patched it, but they patched it and it was still broken even after that.
Huh.
Green blossom doesn't matter. Elizabeth's mushroom. Eating a mushroom invigorates the flesh and greatly restores HP for a limited duration. Its dramatic effect can make the difference between a warrior's life and death. It has nothing to do with it, despite the fact that this is literally a piece of Elizabeth, and it should have been stated in that, but it isn't.
I want to take it and plant it somewhere. See if I can get another Elizabeth.
Yeah, that would be nice. Divine blessing. Holy water from the goddess Guinevere, fully restore HP and undo irregularities. The goddess of sunlight Guinevere, daughter of the great lord of sunlight Gwyn, is cherished by all as the symbol of beauty and fertility.
Bounty.
Bounty? Is that bounty? I thought
Bounty.
it was beauty. My bad. Bounty.
Yeah, the word's right there.
So Gwyn has 2 children, not counting the third one whose name is never dropped. And that's Guinevere and Gwyndolin. Gwyndolin is the dark sun, and Guinevere is the goddess of bounty and fertility.
And sunlight, apparently.
Yeah, and sunlight. So she's sunlight, her dad is the sun, and her brother is the dark sun.
Okay.
Is there and then she has a third. She has a second brother who's the god of war. I don't think there's a god of the earth. The god of the earth would be like a human being. There's also Velka, who we haven't seen any mention of just yet, but she's the goddess of sin, and she has a lot to do with this game as well, because it seems like Velka favors human beings compared to the rest of the gods who absolutely despise them. Velka's the goddess of sin, and her symbol is a crow.
Right.
And the crow is what brought you here, and there's crows all over the painted world, and Priscilla is a half-breed between a dragon and a god, and people think that that means that she is the daughter of Velka and possibly Seath?
Okay.
But it's kind of unclear. None of this really matters too much. Gold pine resin is nice, but it really doesn't have anything to do with anything. Homeward bone. These are just pieces of bonfires. Prism stones are just stones that break. We already know what these are. They're all exactly the same, but the emotion that they show off is different. So it's like this head says, hello, have another look. Do you sense the amicability in his eyes? And then this one's, thank you. Is this not a face of gratitude? Very good. Does it not appear quite jovial?
They don't look like anything.
They don't. They really don't. These might be giant faces, to be totally honest, because we don't know what those look like.
Ugh, okay.
I'm sorry. Isn't the expression that of atonement? Let's see. These are just the souls, which don't matter. These are the big ones that you gotta kind of look into. So it's soul of the mystical moonlight butterfly, which flitters in the dark root garden. Special beings have special souls. So everything is going to start with that, and then we're going to get the actual lore. So I'm just going to skip that from now on. The butterfly's soul is a creation of Seath the Scaleless.
All right. So what weapon do you get off of that?
I think it is a staff, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's a staff that kind of looks like the body of the butterfly.
Like a catalyst?
Yeah.
Okay.
Soul of Quelog, daughter of the Witch of Izalith, but now a chaos demon. Special beings have special souls, and Quelog's soul contains all the aspects of chaos. Use it to acquire a huge amount of souls, create a unique weapon. So she is a chaos demon. Now because her mom did that thing.
Yeah.
Her mom's dead, but the thing that she did will never go away. The primordial chaos that she unleashed upon the world in the bed of chaos is basically going to stick around forever.
I kind of want to get their weapon just so I can say I have it, even if it sucks.
Yeah, well, her weapon is, I'm pretty sure it's a katana.
Okay.
But as you swing it around, if you hit your opponent, it'll do a small amount of damage to you and a lot of damage to them, because it's a really strong katana. But it's like, that's the drawback, is that it's constantly doing damage to both of you. Core of the Iron Giant. Soul serving as the core
Iron
of the
Giant.
Iron Golem. Sorry. Guardian of Sun's Fortress and slayer of countless heroes seeking Anor Londo. Originally a bone of an everlasting dragon. And then just use it to make souls. Soul of Smog the Executioner, who guards the cathedral in the forsaken city of Anor Londo. And use the soul of this eerily gleeful executioner to acquire a huge amount of souls. He was eerily gleeful.
Okay.
Because he was a cannibal and he really reveled in the idea of murdering humans. Soul of Sif. Soul of Sif, the great grey wolf, who guards the grave of Artorius the Abyss Walker. Special beings have special souls. Use the soul of Sif, who inherited the divine Night Sword, to acquire a huge amount of souls or create a unique weapon. The Guardian, which we've already read. Soul of Manus. Father of the Abyss, this extraordinary soul is a viscous, lukewarm lump of gentle humanity. Ancient Manus was clearly once human, but he became the Father of the Abyss after his humanity went wild, eternally seeking his precious broken pendant, which is not the pendant that was given to Artorias, but may have had the same effect. In which case, the reason he's seeking it is probably because he is a horrible mass of humanity and darkness right now, and he's hoping that the pendant will basically blow it off him.
That would kind of make sense.
Then you have humanity, which are just, like, literally, it's humanity. You know what that is.
Yeah.
Silver pendant we just read. Rubbish is nothing. Copper coin. Okay, these coins actually have weird amounts of lore on them.
Okay.
Its face shows Old Man McLoif, god of medicine and drink. Even coins of great value in the world of men have little value in Lordran, where the accepted currency is souls. Those who dream of returning to the outside world are fond of carrying these around.
Why is
Old Man Loif, you need to remember the name of.
Whatever. Why is it that the place where all of the important shit is, where the city of the gods is and all this other shit, is where they dump all of the zombie trash?
Because the gods don't live here anymore. It used
Still,
to be that when the gods lived here, they kept that shit in check and were like, don't let the undead here. But as soon as the gods left and basically left an entire continent untouched and unmanned, people went, that's the new garbage can.
Yeah, you'd think they'd be afraid of retribution.
You'd think so, but they don't really care. Coin made of silver with a portrait of the legendary Night King Rendell on its face. And coin made of gold with Allfather Lloyd and his white halo shown on its face. Allfather Lloyd is a dick, and I hate him. We don't have any Lloyd's talismans right now, so we can't show those off, but he's the uncle of Gwyn, and it makes no sense. Because Gwyn's the first god, and he's the uncle of the first god.
So he's like a titan or something.
Yeah, something like that. Like, actually, I think a lot of people point out that it's probably just that there were more gods and Gwyn lied. Or something along those lines.
Okay.
Titanite shards are fragments of the legendary slabs. Titanite is etched into weapons to reinforce.
Okay.
With the discovery of chunks in Lordran, the race to locate the legendary slabs has begun. But could they be mere myth? And then you've got two slabs. Legendary slabs are the heirlooms of a nameless blacksmith deity who forged the weapons of other gods. Weapons forged with the slab become rare legendary weapons. Then you have all of the weird ones, which are like green and blue and this one, and they're all exactly the same, and the slabs are all exactly the same, and then you've got things like this.
If they're that legendary, how come I have... Can you go up?
Mm-hmm.
How come I have... Keep going.
Oh, okay.
I have 53 fucking large titanite shards.
These aren't legendary. These are legendary.
Yeah, but they're chunks of it.
Yeah, I
They're
guess.
chunks of it. Like, why do I have so fucking many of these?
I don't know. You've actually got a lot of slabs. They're just not the right kinds of slabs.
Yeah, I've got some right slabs. I just haven't used them.
So you've also got Twinkling, which does have a unique one, which is this weapon reinforcing Titanite is imbued with a particularly powerful energy. Reinforces weapons that cannot be reinforced normally to +5. After this Titanite was peeled from its slab, it is said that it received a special power, but its specific nature is not clear.
We get those off of clams.
Yeah.
Is there clam lore?
Kind of. So the clams exist in Ash Lake, which means that they're probably like the dragons. So they're everlasting clams. They're from the Ashlands.
Why
or from
do
the
they have the
Glaylands.
titanite? Does it come off of
It
them?
may have originally come from them.
But it was peeled off as... Are clams just made of slab? Just straight up, that's what the slab is?
The slab might be made of whatever they are made of as well, yes.
Okay.
Demon Titanite. When the nameless blacksmith deity passed away from several slabs, great beasts arose. The power of Titanite remains within them, and they still roam Lordran today. Titanite might potentially be worked scales of the things that lived in the Ashlands, by the way, because dragon scales are a form of Titanite.
Okay.
Just like pointing it out because it's right there.
Yeah.
And this one's like, a dragon is inseparable from its scales, and the transcendent apostles who seek the perpetuality of the ancient dragons have crossed the very ends of the earth to seek this invaluable treasure.
You just go down to the fucking garbage city full of soggy dicks and you just kill bats. That's not that hard. Dragon scales.
Yeah, I guess kinda. Most of this does not have anything about it that's interesting.